A lot of websites showing a Cloudflare error today. A single point of failure just brought down a huge portion of the modern internet. This wasn't a hack, it was a catastrophic failure at one of the most critical infrastructure providers, Cloudflare. And the impact was not just you couldn't use ChatGPT, it was a cascade of failures that shows just how fragile our digital ecosystem really is. So let's talk about the scale of this. When Cloudflare started having issues, it was like a digital domino effect. First, the AI and productivity tools went down. ChatGPT, the leader in generative AI, was completely inaccessible. But it wasn't alone. Perplexity AI, Hugging Face, and even parts of Midjourney were affected. For a moment, the AI revolution was put on pause. Then, communication platforms started failing. Discord, a vital tool for millions of gamers, communities, and even businesses, became unstable. Channels wouldn't load, messages wouldn't send. The real time web was stuttering. But there is the critical takeaway for any business leader. This wasn't just about inconvenience, this outage hit the financial world. FinTech giants like Revolut, Monzo, and Wise began reporting major issues. Payments were failing, transfers were stuck into a limbo. If this breakdown of critical services has highlighted a key risk for your own company, this is my focus. I provide cybersecurity consulting to help businesses build resilient and secure infrastructure. Based in Munich, Germany, feel free to reach out. Now let's deconstruct exactly how this happened. So, what exactly broke? Cloudflare is not a website, it is an utility. Most companies use it for three core things. DNS is the Internet Address Book. This is job number one. Cloudflare's DNS translates a domain name like openai.com into an IP address. When this fails, it is like the entire internet's address book was ripped up. Your browser has no idea where to go. The CDN, which is the Global Content Network. This is for speed and caching. Cloudflare stores copies of websites all over the world so they load faster for you. A failure here can make a site incredibly slow or completely unreachable, even if its home server is fine. The shield, the security and denial of service protection. This is the ultimate irony. Companies pay Cloudflare to be a shield against massive cyber attacks. But today, that shield turned into a solid wall. Due to what appears to be a major configuration error or a bad software deployment, Cloudflare began rejecting legitimate traffic along with the bad. The bodyguard locked everyone out of the building. This combination of services is why the outage was so pervasive. It wasn't just one function that failed, it was the core plumbing of the internet for thousands of companies. This is the core of the issue. We talk about redundancy in cybersecurity. We have backup servers, backup power, and backup data centers. But we created a new massive risk by centralizing our dependence on a handful of critical infrastructure providers. This is known as a system risk. Cloudflare became a single point of failure for a massive segments of the web. When it went down, the entire system that depends on it went down too. Think about it. A company can have the most secure servers in the world, but if the traffic can't even get to them because of the DNS or security provider is down, it's all for nothing. This outage exposed the deep, hidden interdependencies of the modern internet. The failure wasn't at the edges, it was the very core. So, what does this mean for the future? First, we have to acknowledge the unseen impacts. This outage didn't just break websites, it disrupted financial transactions, it halted business operations, it cost the global economy millions of dollars per minute in loss of productivity and failed transactions. Second, the solution is resilience through redundancy. For cybersecurity professionals and business leaders, this is a 5-alarm fire drill. So, demand multi-provider strategies. For critical services like DNS, you must have a failover plan. This means using a secondary provider that can take over if your primary one fails. It's more complex, but the cost of not having it is now crystal clear. Then conduct dependency audits. You need to know exactly which of your services rely on providers like Cloudflare, Amazon's AWS, or Google Cloud. You can't mitigate a risk if you don't understand it. And then test your disaster recovery for real. Having a plan on paper is not enough. Never. You need to regularly test switching your DNS, failing over to a backup CDN, and operating without your primary infrastructure providers. Today proved that these failures are not theoretical. Today wasn't just an outage, it was a stress test on the modern internet, and it revealed a critical weakness. The concentration of power and responsibility in a few key players creates a fragile system. The lesson is clear. In cybersecurity, the most dangerous failures are often the ones you don't see coming from providers you trust the most. Building a resilient digital world means planning for the failure of every single component. Did you learn your lesson? What was the most critical service you saw go down today? Let me know in the comments. If you want to learn how to build systems that can withstand this kind of shocks, subscribe for more deep dives into cybersecurity and infrastructure. Thank you for watching.